Welcome, everyone. How is it going? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Well. Today is the day. It seems like the news conference has happened. By the way, let me know if my audio is coming in clear. Andy, Eric, Sean, Patrick, Marcus, how's it going, folks? It seems like today's the day that Giga Berlin permit has been officially approved. There was a press conference. We got a lot to go through on the stream. I've got everything lined up as for tweets. And as we sit here for price action, 831 sitting on Tesla, down about 1%, which, of course, is not awesome, but we'll see how we end the day. But in the grand scheme of things, if you look at the EV bucket here, Rivian down 8%, NIO down 7%, GM down 6%, macros market speaking wise, NASDAQ down 2%, S&P 500 down 1.5%. So in those, in that type of relative market, I guess you could say Tesla's still holding afloat. Awesome. Thank you, Pesca. Appreciate it. Eric, Stefan, Vern, how's it going? There we go. Boyle, Paco, Danny, how's it? Awesome. By the way, let me know, even if you're watching on the replay, let me know in the chat where you guys are tuning in from. City, state, country, whatever you guys feel comfortable sharing. Awesome. There we go. Okay, now I'll read some places out in a second here. So I've got everything lined up for today. I decided to be a little bit more organized than I normally am, which I know is not saying much. But I've got some tabs open up here. So the Brandenburg minister or Land Brandenburg Twitter tweeted out the Giga Berlin approval permit. Check out how many binders of paperwork was, and there's two rows here, folks. There's 2 rows here, folks. And the middle one is the actual approval. Just nuts. I saw a Twitter comment. Someone said we should compare this with Austin, and I think that's a great idea. Elon replied to the tweet saying, "I would like to thank you very much. The future is very exciting." Now, awesome that they got their permit approved, but there's still skepticism in the general landscape of Tesla, because now apparently there's inspections to be had before a production can actually officially begin. I personally am not too worried about the inspections. The approval was the real holdup. But there is legitimate skepticism still around there, but we'll see. Okay, let me read some cities and countries out here. Roger, South Carolina, how's it going? Jake, Norway, there we go. Danbury, UK. Seattle, Michael, how's it going? New Jersey, Germany, Chicago. Sean from your Discord. Sean, how's it going, man? Tampa, happy Friday. Ryan says, on a walk with my dog. Hey, there we go. It's pretty sunny outside too in the Pacific Northwest. Denmark, California, Los Angeles, Gorton, Massachusetts. John says, love the stream. Appreciate you, John. Johannesburg, Mexico, Durham, Mimi from Sweden, Calgary, Fort Collins, Colorado, Baton Rouge. Louisiana's on my bucket list. Surprisingly enough, it's more of an obscure place for me to randomly say, but Louisiana's a place I really want to go to. It's on the list. San Diego. Vern, I'm going to try to pronounce this. Sawbridgeworth. How's that? Hertfordshire. Oh man. You guys just kill me with these names sometimes. Raleigh, North Carolina. How many trees were cut down for that? Yeah, for sure. Daryl, how's it going? Pania from Southern California. Live you from Vancouver. Hey, local. Ukraine. We'll talk about Ukraine in a second here. Exactly, Faisal. Sweden. Fort Lauderdale. Awesome. Ohio. Man, we got people from everywhere. Mardi Gras, yeah, for sure. Silver Spring, MD is Maryland. Yes, right? Pardon my ignorance. Portland, hey, Gentry, how's it going? Denver, Colorado, Switzerland. Awesome. Hey, folks, we got everyone everywhere. So I'm going to move on to the next thing we're going to talk about. Dave kind of broke this down. And I'm going to talk about the skepticism for a second. Dave says this. Still some processes to be cleared for start of production and customer deliveries, but it appears first customer deliveries and ceremony to take place on March 22nd to 23rd with Elon Musk and other officials present. That's awesome. And then it goes on to say there's ongoing water dispute, which involves other parties and could be a long drawn out court battle that could impact Tesla, but it doesn't look like it will hold up start of production or deliveries. That's the main thing here. In terms of worrying about the water supply, definitely, especially for expansion. But in terms of starting production or deliveries, Dave is on the record. Tobias as well, Tobias Lind, that is, who talks about all things Giga Berlin on Twitter. Follow him at Tobias Lind, I believe. uh, they're not worried about the water permit to start production or deliveries. And I guess that's the main thing right now is we want to make sure that production deliveries can start. We can worry about scaling in a little bit, but at the time being, this is a big win for Tesla. We also got a note. By the way, I'm going to go back to the stock price for a hot second. 835 for all, I'm rounding up a little bit. 835, 55 basis points down. Maybe we go green on the day as we are on the live stream. San Fran, Milwaukee, man, we got folks everywhere. Detroit, Miami. Logan says from NATO. Switzerland. Hey, another Vancouverite. There we go. London, UK. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Okay. Boyle. Okay, so we got another note from Adam Jonas. Always an interesting time whenever we get notes from Adam Jonas. We got to read them. This is from Meier on Twitter. Tesla and Ferrari shelter in an inflationary storm? Question mark. Adam Jonas says Tesla is one of the few names he'd recommend in this highly fluid macro supply inflationary environment. Let's read the note, shall we? If we can here. Hold on. Open image address. Let's just put this on a different. Let's just read it from here. Okay, so he's still overweight, still in line, and $1,300 price target. Adam Jonas says, investors are asking me, what would you buy in such a supply-constrained, macro-uncertain, inflationary environment? In an ideal world, we'd want to use the current market conditions to look at good companies with the following attributes. 1, strong brand, Tesla. Number 2, long order backlog, demand superseding capacity. Number 3, strong balance sheet, access to capital. Tesla has very little debt, and they can cover their debt easily with the cash on hand. Number 4, strong pricing power. We see that Tesla's demand doesn't really shift, even with the price updates that they've done recently. While all stocks under our coverage have had some exposure / risk in this highly fluid macro supply inflationary environment, we'd highlight Tesla and Ferrari, interestingly enough, as names that come close to ticking all of the boxes above. Tesla's resilience in this market is taking many investors by surprise. Is it really? I don't know. As it is seemingly perceived as a relatively, quote, safe haven due to its pre-existing capacity shortage, deterministic access to key materials at scale, and supply chain relationships with miners. We forecast Tesla to sell no more than 1.5 million vehicles this year. I love how you phrased it like that too. No more than, right? Which, by the way, I mean, we can talk about Berlin, but Austin is also opening. Let me know in the comments. Are you guys over or under on the 1.5 for this year that he has? I mean, reminder, it is March already, but let me know in the comments. Over or under on 1.5 that Adam Jonas has set as the cap for this year. But he goes on to say this year, which we believe to be material lower than demand for vehicles at their current list prices. For this year, at least, a stronger economy would not help Tesla sell more than 1.5 million units this year, as we see this butting against the physical capacity to produce. We can, of course, envision scenarios where Tesla may not be able to produce 1.5 million units due to nearly emerging physical supply chain disruption that go beyond mere input prices. In such an environment, we would not rule out further, but temporary, price increases to fully or partially pass through onto consumers. That's the big thing with Tesla. Tesla can increase the price $1,500, and I don't have the numbers, but a very small percentage of people I think would actually then not go through with their order. In fact, if you've reserved your price, you get to Tesla honors you at that price. It's new reservation holders that have to eat up that extra cost, and there's a lot of them. And we'll talk about Giga Shanghai in a second. Longer term, Adam Jonas says, we believe Tesla's mission is to systematically invest in margin and use manufacturing / scale improvements to substantially lower the acquisition costs of their vehicles to consumers. He's absolutely right. Ultimately reaching a between 15 and 20,000 price point, which can unlock significant new markets like India. You guys are over Gentry says 1.5 to 1.7 million. I was told. Okay. At least 1.7. Wow. Okay. 1.7 is up there. Okay. There we go. I forecast 1.75, says John Smith. There we go. Okay. And so it's always nice to hear what Adam Jonas is thinking, whether you agree with him or not, because Wall Street really does respect Adam Jonas. Wall Street clients, I'm meaning to say, really do respect what Adam Jonas has to say. So his notes are always interesting. There's that one with Vital once that I think caught a lot of people off guard. But just so you're aware with what price targets and what his EPS is, fiscal year 2022 ending, Adam Jonas is at an EPS, I'm guessing this is adjusted, consensus using consensus methodology, at $9.91. $9.91 is his EPS for fiscal year 2022. So I just run, and I think we did this last Friday. I just run adjusted EPS minus payroll tax for Elon in quarter four, and I think that was like 270. Annualize that, call it 10, and then just throw growth on there of, let's say, 40 to 50%. You're already close to $15, right? So 991, I think, is on the lower end, but he's a professional investor and a professional analyst. I am not, so it is what it is. 834.71, down 60 basis points on Tesla. Let's read some comments here while I switch over to the next tab. I got something funny to show everyone. Stefan says, my guess is 2.3 million deliveries in 2022. That would be a bit much. But man, if that happened, that would be massive. Well, I mean, Elon has said he expects 50% growth comfortably this year. So exactly. Yeah, Frederick beat me to it. There you go. Any news on the Hertz deals? No, not that I know of, but I think the last thing I heard is Hertz continues to get more vehicles delivered, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, again, those are demand questions. And for Tesla, I don't really have demand as a problem, which I get that Street cares about a lot more. So, awesome. Okay, so moving on. I got something funny to show. By the way, let's see here. 833.85 sitting on Tesla, down 65 basis points. Like I said, I got this funny video to show you. If you guys haven't seen it, I'm going to show it to you. If you've seen it, you're going to bear with me and watch this again. This is quite hilarious. There's a lot of yelling in this, but trust me, the end is hilarious.
Daniel McAdams, just take a bit of a chill pill. I didn't even address the question to you. Relax. Calm down.
I don't want to relax. My country is at war.
Well, Mr. McAdams, if you are so concerned, about Ukrainians, then hang on. Mr. McAdams, if you're so concerned about Ukraine, get off the fence and send your forces and put boots on the ground. Don't lecture us here in India, okay? I'm not going to hear your lecture. And if you have really problems, go tell go tell the U.S. President, Mr. Biden, who flashes. Who flashes his fancy credentials. Don't, Mr. McAdams, tonight. Don't, Mr. McAdams, tonight. Play the cat's paw for the West here. Do not do that. We have no. Hang on. You ask those Afghans. You ask those Afghans what they have gone through falling off planes because you dumped them. You ask the African nations because you dumped them. You go ask millions and millions of Iraqi citizens because you dumped them. You people and your colonial agenda, sir, has wrecked the South, has wrecked the East, and don't sit here and lecture us. Don't sit here and lecture us, Mr. McAdams. We shut him down.
I'm not talking. It's the other guy who's talking. I haven't been able to say a word.
Yeah, absolutely. The man has gone completely ballistic. And if he feels so strongly, he should go and fight alongside Ukrainians who are being killed.
Dear host, I have not said a word yet. I don't know why you're yelling at me.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm talking about Mr. McAdams. I am Mr. McAdams.
I am Mr. McAdams.
Oh.
I am Mr. McAdams, and I haven't said a word, so stop yelling at me.
Okay, sorry. I got that confused.
Ukrainian guy who's going nuts, okay? Not me.
Yes, I got that. That's Borden Nahalo, the chief.
Okay. I've probably watched that at least 6 times over the last day. Listen, I almost didn't watch all of this if someone retweeted this on my timeline. I was like, oh man, more yelling. The last thing I need in this world right now. But the guy at the end, I'm just going to play the last 10 seconds. The way that he's so sad. Okay, and don't worry, we're not going to spend the rest of the stream talking about this. He's just so sad, this poor guy, Mr. McAdams. Like, it looks like he's about to cry.
Why you're yelling at me?
I'm not yelling at you. I'm talking about Mr. McAdams. I'm talking about Mr. McAdams.
I am Mr. McAdams.
I am Mr. McAdams.
Oh.
I am Mr. McAdams, and I haven't said a word, so stop yelling at me.
Okay, sorry. I got that confused.
I can't take it. If you want to watch this, I retweeted it on my Twitter. Hey, it's actually link in the description. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So a little bit of diversion, but I thought that was needed in kind of the global environment that we're living in right now. Someone actually replied to me on that tweet. On that tweet, and they said, be careful. I mean, Russia propaganda is quite sophisticated. And you know what? That's a pretty astute point, I thought. So link is, if you go on my Twitter, I retweeted it yesterday. So check it out if you want. Or if you want to share it, go for it. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, 834.68 on Tesla right now, down 50 basis points at the moment. Rob says, Yash, despite today's good news, I don't expect Berlin deliveries anytime soon. Summer for lucky. It's fair that you're discounting that to that degree. I mean, considering everything that we've gone through, big money right now, or at least investorship on from what I've reading on Twitter and just from notes coming out, seems like the grand ceremony is what's going to signal the start of deliveries. We shall see, though. We shall see. Okay, glad you guys liked that video. Okay, yeah, I had that tucked in as like kind of my last piece of news here. Oh, good. Okay, 835 on Tesla. James says, quote, sitting on Tesla as a merch win. Yeah, you know, I've gotten some feedback when I say, 835 sitting on Tesla. Apparently it's well, it's definitely grammatically incorrect. Apparently it's kind of a weird thing I say. I mean, I'll take it. I'm a weird guy. It is what it is. And I didn't realize that I'd been saying it like that, but it's been over a year at this point. I'm not going to stop. So, but yeah, maybe I can make some. I mean, sitting on Tesla. I mean, that kind of seems weird though. Like you're wearing a shirt and it just says sitting on Tesla. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you, Jacob. Ben says, when do you think we hit all-time highs? Okay, well, Ben, we got a long way to go. Let's just do some math. Right now, where we're sitting about. Zoom out here for a second. We're sitting about 4. Is this right? We're about 48% from all-time highs. Is that right? Hold on. What? 1243? Yeah, that's about right. We're about 4. Is that right? 40 seems like a lot. 46%. 46% from all-time highs. So it again. I've kind of this market. The way that this market is at the moment. Technicals mean even less of a percentage than they did before, considering all of the news cycles we go through, considering the whole Russia-Ukraine crisis going on. And I was having this conversation yesterday with someone. I was saying during these times, and I saw actually Chicken Genius or Ken from Chicken Genius tweeted this out, and we talked about it a couple of weeks back, even on stream. Just having a hard time following financial news at the moment. It's secondary, really, to a lot of people, considering what's going on in the world. So, yeah. But, I mean, $400 from all-time highs, 46% or whatever it is. We're going to need all this macro uncertainty to kind of subside, I think, before all-time highs come again. But the good news is, continue to look at Tesla fundamentals. Berlin opening, Austin opening, on the April the 7th is kind of the going guess at the moment. Fundamentally speaking, Tesla is going to be producing more and selling more cars. And with the you know what I didn't go through? I'm going to go through. Sawyer had a tweet thread yesterday, talking about 4680s. I want to go through that. If you guys have you guys seen that? Let me know in the chat if you guys have seen that mega thread on the 4680 production. I want to go through that because with 4680 battery cells and packs, talk about margin. You talk about gross margin. Like in the long run, those are going to really be substantially margin enhancing. So I'm going to go through that if I can here. Let's see. Also, did you guys see that Elon was actually meeting up with Qin Gang, who is the Chinese ambassador to the US? He says, had an inspiring talk with Elon on cars today, cars on the road, stars in the sky, research of the human brain, so on and so forth. So yeah, it looks like Elon is meeting with more and more Chinese government officials. Let's see here. What is this? Tesla automatically adjusting owner charge limits to 100% for battery calibration. Interesting. The charge limit of your vehicles will automatically be adjusted to 100% in order to perform battery calibration. I didn't know you had to do that. Okay, so let's read the thread here. Let's see if you guys have. Yes, you've seen that thread. No? Okay, so let's go through it. There's a lot here. I'm going to try to just go through what I think is important. But Sawyer says, and again, go if you want to read this entirety, go to his Twitter. You can find it there. I think I retweeted it as well. He says, Troy Tesla-like sources have told him the following info he gave me permission to share. Number one, Giga Berlin news. Test production is going well. They've reached 100 units per day. Suggests that 500 per week run rate when they start regular production. The aim is to get to 1,000 cars a week run rate by the end of April. A second shift is to be added at the end of June. Production is expected to shut down for 3 weeks when they switch from 2170s to 4680s. That's expected to happen in quarter 3 or quarter 4. Let's set our expectations at the end of the year on that. Maybe aligning with holidays. Troy says, assume the shutdown, they will move employees from the general assembly line to the cell and pack production lines to build up enough inventory as a buffer. This is pretty interesting, this point here. Giga Shanghai will supply complete 2170 packs, not just cells, to Berlin until Berlin starts to make its own 4680 cells and packs in a few months. Shanghai has no problem supplying up to 5,000 per week for packs. That's massive. Has no problem supplying that. Giga Berlin currently has 2 gigapresses up and running and 2 more commissioned and are currently being installed. Each casting machine is enough for 2,500 per week worth of castings. I wonder how much backlog they already have since they've also been waiting around. Or 1,250 per week Model Y because each car will have 2 castings. Giga castings are another thing that I haven't talked about much. Again, margin enhancing, better for the product. It's going to be huge. Well, I mean, literally, it's going to be huge. So to get to 10,000 a week, Model Y, so 40,000 a month, they need 8 gigapresses in Berlin. Giga Texas is also expected to have 8 gigapresses for Model Y and some larger gigapresses for the Cybertruck. I'm really excited for the Cybertruck, but again, I know that's probably a next year thing. Giga Texas news, the pilot plant at Fremont Cato Road has produced its 1 millionth 4680 cell. Tesla tweeted about it. As we know, the tweet wasn't clear and could be interpreted as 1 million in January, but that's not the case. They started production a few months ago, and the 1 millionth was produced at some point in January. So let's assume, this is me talking, let's assume they started in October, November, December, end of January, 4 months to hit the first millionth cell. And they said that the target is to produce the second millionth cell by the end of March. So February, March. So let's say, hypothetically, 4 months down to 2 months. That's exponential, right? So we're going to see an exponential growth curve. And again, we know, and Sawyer says this, we know the target capacity for Cato Road is to be 10 gigawatt hours because Elon talked about it here. Giga Texas is not producing 4680 cells, but the machinery is installed and cell production is expected to start in early 2022. Yes, volume production is definitely hard. And then he goes on to say, if you want to support Troy, here's his Patreon. Awesome. Great stuff. Great update. I think the general takeaways for me, by the way, 832 sitting on Tesla. I think the general takeaways were 4680s to begin in Berlin end of year. And then the exponential kind of growth curve of the 4680s out of Cato. Again, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of trial and testing has to go into the 4680. And so from, let's say, from 3 or 4 months down to what's going to be 2 months for them, and then maybe a month, and then maybe 2 weeks. Like, this is going to exponentially grow. So, okay. Emmett says, driving listing worries market could roll over into close, and people worried about the weekend risk over Russia. Yeah, Emmett, that's definitely true. By the way, Emmett is coming on the channel next Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? Let me just check my... yes, Wednesday. Emmett, you're coming on Wednesday. So excited to talk with you then. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the S&P 500, down 1.22% in the last, it's been selling off here. But here's the counter argument, I guess, and we can look at the options market to see how this is shaping up. If a large amount of people are short or have been short for this week, I wonder how much of that is also going to cover. But you're right. I mean, the market is in risk off mode and will be in risk off mode until we get more peace, hopefully, out of this whole situation, which is nuts. Boyle says live or recorded. Emmett will be coming on live, I believe, next Wednesday. And speaking of which, I was gonna also keep this a secret and announce it later. But Farzad is actually coming on the channel on Friday for Power Hour. I guess I'll just announce it here while I have the opportunity while he's in the comments. Yes, Farzad is coming on next Friday. Emmett's coming on Wednesday. Star-studded lineup on next week, so it should be good. We'll talk all things Tesla. If you guys have any questions, by the way, on Discord, if you guys have any questions to request, hit me up on Discord, and we can get that going. Awesome. Julio says, Yash, have you talked about the Rivian debacle? Not really. So the Rivian debacle is something we should potentially talk about. Again, it goes to show that production, prototypes are easy. Production is hard. I really do wish Rivian the best, but with what they're valued at the moment, here, let me just pull up Rivian if I can. Rivian's worth 42 billion still. And remember, they hit an all-time high of $180 almost. $180. So so Rivian has taken quite the hit. I mean, substantially speaking, and it makes sense. Almost pre-revenue type company. Very little to show at the moment. That's not to say that they won't succeed. But now when they're having price hikes, same with Lucid. If you look at Lucid, it's been selling off. Rivian's down 73%. Massive. Okay, yeah, options. Let's talk about options, shall we? Okay, let's talk about options. Pull up TradeTix. Link for TradeTix is in the description, affiliate link if you want to check them out. Let me refresh here. Let's see what we got going on. My new favorite map currently on TradeTix is the net premiums map. Gives me just a highlight real quick of what's happening. Call buying, call selling, put buying, put selling at a quick glance. So it looks like right around 14:36, so about 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific. A good amount of calls are being sold. That explains some of the weakness here. And as we sit here, still puts. There's more put buying today than call buying, but there's a large amount of call selling as well. So that potentially has something to do with the weakness today. We'll see how we shape up in the next half an hour here that we have. Richard says Polestar should be worth more than Rivian plus Lucid. Yeah, Polestar is interesting. GGPI ticker. I have a little bit of Polestar GGPI. There's not a lot of hype around them, which I guess is good because if you want to execute. But you're right. I mean, they do actually have way more deliveries out there, right? So I guess we'll see. Okay, let's talk about the options algo flow. This is the current look for the options algo flow. I said it the other day. It's still weak. Still sitting at around an 830 price target. It was about 820 this morning. The options order flow is not looking hot for Tesla, at least. If I pull up the NASDAQ, the QQQs, let's take a look at the options flow here. I'm okay. Like the NASDAQ options flow is actually bullish. So there is some upside, apparently, options-wise, at least on it. There isn't on Tesla. Oh, what happened here? Hold on. zoom in. If you look at today's net premiums, a large amount of call buying actually came in at around 1 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, pardon me. So 10 a.m. Pacific on the Qs. So interesting. Again, this could be short covering. Don't entirely know. And then if I pull up, let me just pull up Traditex AI. See what they got. Yeah, oil is nuts. Oil is nuts. What is WTI? What is oil per barrel right now? Just hold on. Let me pull this up. Anyone know in the comments what WTI crude oil? $115. $115 a barrel crude oil. Nuts. Gas just hit $2 a liter Canadian up here. Nuts. I've never seen that in my life. $2 has been cracked. I don't even think they had a 2 to put in that first decimal spot here. I still remember when gas here was sub $1. It's just $1 a liter, that is. So and let me know wherever you guys are tuned in from how much gas is, I guess, per gallon for my American friends. $10 a gallon for diesel in Sweden. Wow. $6.50 a gallon in California. That's nuts. Gabriel says my oil calls went nuts today. I wonder if you're holding on to that or not. But yeah. I mean, here's the thing with Russia, right? Is Russia's, of course, still supplying Europe and some parts of America as well with oil. And we're still providing them with funds to do so. Cutting them off makes sense politically, but it is winter in Europe, and there needs to be a secondary source to replace a lot of that with. So, yeah, it's just a mess right now. Traditex AI is, let's see what the bullish signal on it is. Let's see here. So Tesla still has an 84% bullish sentiment. Okay, take that for what it's worth. And the price simulations on Tesla at the moment, on the high end, in 30 days, this is trying to throw a simulation of a price prediction out there via apparently Monte Carlo estimation. In 30 days, the upper range is 965 on Tesla. In 30 days, the simulated price is 925, and the lower range is 870. So, take that for what it's worth. As we sit here right now on Tesla, 830. So, Mimi says, I love expensive gas. Will speed up transition. I mean, that's the harsh reality with what's happening. I've had a lot of people, a lot of friends actually text me, message me, and ask about how EVs work. I have a hard time saying, hey, go in line for an EV and wait 6 months. It's hard. That's a hard sell. That's why in times like right now, I really wish there was no backlog of orders and they could just buy one and just have one within a couple of weeks, like how we did. So it's tough, but you know what? If you have friends that are looking to switch over to EVs, especially if they're a multi-car family, tell them to look into used Nissan Leafs. I've been harping on this point a lot, but Nissan Leafs, you can find them used. Yes, they might be glorified golf carts and they might only be able to go 150 kilometers. But if you're a multi-car family and you don't drive a lot in the city, that is, right? Not in the burbs or something. If you're in the city, that's more than enough. Used Teslas, good luck getting anything remote to what you can buy like a Nissan Leaf for. Apples and oranges for sure, but again, the goal here is sustainable tech, right? This is your EVs. Farzad says, problem is demand of EVs today is way more than supply. Gas price increase is going to be a net negative for new car ICE sales as people wait to get their EVs, but won't see market grow. Yeah, here's the good thing. Sentiment's changing. I told you guys, right? Anecdotally speaking, at least, and of course, plural of anecdote is not data. But in my condo building, the Strata Council finally has taken up my recommendation to look into. It's like the bureaucrats of Germany, right? They've accepted to create a plan about EV chargers in the building. So, I mean, we'll see. I'll take that with a grain of salt for now, but it's definitely good steps. And so, if we can get a couple of EV chargers in the building, I know for a fact there's going to be multiple families that will switch over to EVs way easier than if we live in a condo and there's no EV chargers. I live in a condo without an EV charger because I'm willing to drive to level 2s. I'm willing to charge level 1 in just a regular outlet. I'm willing to drive to a supercharger if I have to. So I don't care. But if you're a regular family that couldn't care about EVs more or less, and all you want is cost savings, you need the charger network. That's why I had to live in a condo and have an EV. You almost have to have a Tesla, I think. Bobby says recommend Leafs to your friends, but bolts to your enemies. You know what's so funny? I actually did I say this? I'm not sure. I was in a Uber because the Tesla was at the service center and I got a free Uber ride back home. And I was in a Bolt and I was talking to this awesome gentleman about his Bolt experience. And it wasn't until a week later when I was talking to someone on Zoom and they were like, wait a second, you were in a Bolt on all those recalled? I'm like, oh, damn, I was sitting in a dangerous situation right there. I didn't even realize. Sweden says, don't miss an idea for your merch. Which one is? Hey, dude, you just made a funny thing in Photoshop. Where can I send it? Oh, maybe tweet it at me if you can. Appreciate that. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Supply chain constraints while Tesla is about to explode physical capacity could explode the advantage of Tesla. Absolutely. Absolutely. Did I say orange juju time? Lenny, I forgot about the jujus. Do I have any? Let me go check. Hold on. Lenny, thanks for reminding me. Is it unprofessional to walk off your own stream? It probably is, but thanks for sticking with me, folks. Okay, I got the juju. I can't believe I almost forgot the juju. It's been one of those weeks, hasn't it? All right. There's no juju to combat this market. Yeah, Edgy, I feel that. Absolutely. I'm going to check my Twitter in a second. One sec. Let me just make sure. So 829 sitting on Tesla, apparently. Check my Twitter here. Okay. I'll keep an eye on my Twitter. It's in my description if you need it. Okay. All right. First bite of the jujus. If you're new here and you have no idea what the jujus are, just grab citrus and start eating. Plus, it's good for you. A little bit of vitamin C doesn't hurt anyone. Better swallow one whole. This one's a hard one to peel. This one's it's a sun-kissed navel orange. I'm guessing from Florida. I'm guessing. Yes, we'll play our Tesla closing price guessing game in about 5 minutes here. 5 minutes. Check my DM on Twitter, says Sweet. You guys are hilarious. Appreciate you guys. Look at this. Oh, I'm going to shout you out. Thank you, Swede. Prime Swede on Twitter sends me this. Look at this. Just amazing. You guys are awesome. Look at this. Oh my God. Sitting on Tesla. How self-absorbed would I have to be if I sold this on the site? That'd be pretty. It'd be like just a photo of me. You're awesome. Thank you, Swede. Appreciate that. Sweet Hunt in the chat. Thank you. That's awesome. I'm going to send that around to my friends, though. Rosat says I dare you to merch it. Oh, man. Can you imagine if I'm just at a coffee shop and someone's just wearing this? I don't know. Make it an NFT. This is good. Oh, you guys are always a good time. Up or down? 829 sitting on Tesla. Sign them and send them out. Faisal says we need another one for Hot Minute. Okay, the Hot Minute one. The Hot Minute one. Does no one say Hot Minute? Is that can't just be a me thing? Eric says, "Where'd you get the glasses and nose with the nose and mustache?" It's my Mr. Potato Head costume that I'm wearing at the moment. Yeah, okay. So Sandal says, yes, you say it. It's a thing. Okay, it's not just a hot minute's not just my thing, but you know what? I'll take if you've never heard about hot minute or the term hot minute. I mean, I'll take credit for it for sure. Why not? I have no problem taking credit for things. That could be the prize for the guessing game, a signed copy. Rich just says 8:29 on a day like this is like 11:45. Yeah, you almost feel that, right? Like with Tesla, with the pullback we've had from the first day of the year, we're sitting down 40%. But if you look at if you look at other stocks, like for example, Palantir, often bucketed together with like a Cathy Wood type growth stock. From the beginning of the year, Palantir is down. Not that Palantir or Tesla are even remotely similar in financial terms right now. Oh, okay. Well, they're about the same, about 40% down. Palantir has taken a massive hit. $10.91. I think a lot of their loss, though, was stock-based comp. So, Rodfather says my sister-in-law calls me a hot mess. How about a cold mess? 8:29. Time to play the guesstimate closing price game, Charles. Yes. Let's do it in 2 minutes. So let's just see what happens in the next couple of minutes here. 8:31. Hey, we're popping a little bit here. We'll do that at 8:45. Just because chats eat up everything, and then I have a hard time going back and then finding chats. Last week I had such a hard time. Finding chats last week. Oh, okay, hold on. You guys are getting wild here. Hold on. Disruptive tech innovation tags me in this awesome. This is my type of Photoshop. I like this type of Photoshop. This is Yashu quality Photoshop. This is awesome. I love that. I'm gonna keep eating some juju. That's awesome. One question is why is my left leg cut off? Hopefully that's not foreshadowing. Where's my leg? Thanks for joining me, folks. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. I made Yash a pirate. Nick says, what's the difference between $1 and a ruble? Is it $1? Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. I saw who said that joke on, I heard it on, was it Fox or MSNBC? There was a guest that said that yesterday. That, I'm not sure what's happening. Apparently there's and someone correct me if I'm wrong. Apparently there's a protest scheduled in Russia for March the 7th is what I've heard on the news. So apparently that's a big day. Of course, protests in Russia are not safe, which, yeah. But hopefully there can be some sort of grassroots movement to stop the senseless war that's happening. So, okay. Some more seizements, by the way. Italy seizes €65 million yacht belonging to Alexei Mordashov. And Yellen says, these are back-to-back headlines, I don't know why. Yellen says, believe that Fed can bring down inflation without bringing a recession. All right. Oh, yeah. Where are we sitting? Where's the 200-day moving average? Yeah, 200. Oh, okay. Let's play there. It's time for our closing price guessing game. If you're new here, throw in your closing price guess on Tesla for today. Remember, Price is Right rules. So at or under, if you're a cent over, you can't qualify to win. What is the prize, you might ask? Virtual Juju. All right, just throw some good vibes your way. All right, throw it in. I'm gonna throw in my guess as well right now. The optimist in me is going to say 840 because I want that 200-day moving average to hold at 839.74. So I'm going to say 840. All right. We'll see. And by the way, if you're curious, volume weighted average price on the day is 840. Hey, it's 840. Okay. So take that with what you want. At the moment, 831 on Tesla. Now I feel insecure whenever I say sitting on Tesla. I've been saying it all these streams, and then now I just feel insecure saying it. But I'm gonna have to lean into it, just like my Nvidia. All right. All right. Thanks, James. Please keep saying it. Okay, so it's one of those things. I want to make sure I don't lean into it too much now, otherwise it'll come off as attention seeking. But hold on, I got another DM here. Swedes also made me this, the hot minute chart. Wait a hot minute. There we go. It'd be weird if I stopped, says Adam. There we go. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the good vibes today, folks. 8:33 sitting on Tesla on Friday, March the 4th. So the markets, where they go next week, anyone's guess. Coin flip. The markets are all looking towards that whole nuclear shooting rampage fire yesterday was frightening to say the least. The good thing is there's still no detected radioactivity from that area, which is great. But folks, if you think Putin's going to stop in Ukraine, he's not going to stop in Ukraine. That's why I think we need to do whatever we can to protect Ukraine, because he's not going to stop in Ukraine, right? He's gonna push the limits. So yeah, Virtus said nuclear has to be factored into pricing. Yeah, I had a friend I was talking with yesterday say, if you look at the stock market right now and you want to talk about stress tests, right? Not financial stress tests, but quite literally, I mean, the biggest stress test that you could possibly get, which is nuclear scares. It kind of had a part. I mean, smarter minds came on TV and they said, look, this is nothing like what we saw at Chernobyl, and nothing like Fukushima, of course, praying for that. But you talk about stress tests. We're stress testing humanity. Forget the markets. That's the thing is, we could talk about the markets all day long. That's awesome. That's great. I have a great time doing it with everyone. But what we're talking about is it's at a humanity level, right? It's not at a markets level. There is no markets if there's a nuclear war. So yeah. Sung says Ukraine should have never let their nukes go. Well, if you look at the Budapest, the Budapest agreement, maybe they shouldn't have let it go. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not. I don't know. I'm just going to reserve my thoughts a little bit on there. But I don't think that 25 years later is something that we can look back on. But I think we got to do everything we can now. I mean, I don't think Putin's scared. I don't think, well, there's a lot of theories out there. One theory I was reading, or one theory someone was talking about, a specialist in the military was saying that the big reason Putin wanting to invade is because he's scared of being overthrown because of democracy leaking into Russia. You saw what happened with Kazakhstan, even Belarus, until Putin came in and kind of saved the day for the dictator there. So, I mean, democracy scares totalitarians, right? Okay, 831 sitting on Tesla. The NASDAQ is down 2% on the day. So weak NASDAQ day. By the way, I mean, if we're going to run just typical analysis, NASDAQ's down 2%. Tesla should be down with a beta of 4% on the day. So Tesla's sitting down only 1%. I guess you could say is relative strength in the market. But on a day with Giga Berlin being approved, maybe I would have expected to see more upward pressure. But perhaps big money is still waiting on closer to the date. Maybe they're waiting on something we don't know about. So. Michael says, you're right. And if he succeeds, China will be emboldened to move on Taiwan. I think China is seeing, or specifically speaking, the CCP is seeing what is happening with Ukraine and everyone rallying in the West, across the world for Ukraine. And they're seeing and they're taking notes. And I think the CCP, I think there's a much lower chance, and hopefully this doesn't age like milk, much lower chance now that they even try to provoke Taiwan, considering the backlash that they've seen that Russia has had. The sanctions are crippling the Russian economy. Average citizens that don't even agree with the war are having to face all of these harsh realities. You talk about having your retirement fund in stocks. Can you imagine if you couldn't open your brokerage account one day and the president of your country said, "Listen, we're just going to shut it down," and your denomination of currency is falling 30-40%, and you've saved up your entire life. These are I mean, this is not to be taken lightly. And I had someone I was talking with, and I was like, I feel bad for what's happening with the Russian citizens. And they're like, well, of course, but like you got to feel bad for the Ukrainians. And I was like, there's no lack of empathy on my side on either side. Of course, one is physical harm, but the other side we got to take into consideration as well. The Russians, there's I'm not going to dare to say majority of Russian citizens, but probably a good portion of them. I mean, maybe it is a majority. I just don't know. Probably don't agree with the war, and yet they're having to see all their retirement funds like this just disappear overnight. It's just not, and to throw a wrench in everything. Even if they protest, they get arrested. Even if they protest, they're going to be silenced. Twitter is down in Russia. Facebook's down. Is YouTube down? I'm not sure. So, yeah. Farzad said, I think this is a deterrent for CCP. Agreed. The West is way more united than they thought. Way more united, way heavier sanctions. I still think they need to continue to find more oligarchs to sanction. Folks who are rallying here, 836 on Tesla. I think they need to find more oligarchs to sanction. They need to collaborate together. But also they need to highlight, politicians need to continue to highlight, look, we don't want to shut off the Russian economy or the Russian average people to this. Like, highlight this. We don't want this. But until the war stops, we cannot. So I think that's what's being lost in translation, especially, let's say, for the average Russian citizen, I think, that's just looking at the West and seeing what's happening. There needs to be, in my opinion, a continual emphasis to those people, the grassroots citizens in Russia that disagree with the movement, that, look, this can stop the minute the war stops. But I think everything is just so blanket at the moment that there's no nuance in the conversation. Jetcher says, China were to take Taiwan, semis would get destroyed. It would kill China. Yeah, I mean, interesting point. I think they would just take over. Look, Taiwan is all about democracy, and CCP does not like that, for sure. But I think, again, what they're seeing, what's happening in the free world to Russia and their economy, it's not good. And I think they realize that. That's why they're playing ball a little bit more than I expected them to be. And I mean, look at it this way as well. Russia is going to need a lender of last resorts eventually, right? With the lack of money coming in the markets, they're going to need someone to borrow money off of. China's going to be there for them, albeit at a cost. But does Russia really want to be beholden to the CCP? I mean, you can make the argument maybe they're not. Maybe they've tied all their assets they had tied up, they somehow brought out. I don't know the nuances. But it's not. It's increasingly looking like a no-win situation for Russia. Let's see here. Sanju, how's it going? Yeah, Libov says the problem is damage has already been done to the Russian economy. Even if sanctions get reverted, everything is clearly messed. Yes, but I would say even if, like, let's say today sanctions were reversed, right? Let's say sanctions were reversed. I mean, and the war stopped, right? And we can all pray for that to happen. I think they'd be okay. I mean, maybe a couple months of just mismatch, but you know what? I still think they'd be okay. So But if this goes on for a couple more months and infrastructure starts going down and stuff is not being maintained on factories and there's more and more folks, we're rallying here. 840. We're going green on Tesla. All right, time to eat an orange. Time to eat an orange. There we go. Let's see here. We're going green. There we go. Short covering, says John. Let me see here. Let me see. It's quite the shift I just had from our awesome conversation. But there's so much nuance to this conversation that I think it's important to not just throw blanket terms or blanket statements a lot of times. There needs to be right now it's a lose-lose for Putin. To get out of this situation, you need to show there needs to be what everyone's saying, like an off-ramp. There needs to be a moral victory that you can convince someone that they can have to have an off-ramp when we're talking about stuff like nukes, So, again, I'm not a geopolitical expert, but those are just my thoughts. Yeah, Russian economy is really just energy, right? So, okay, 838 on Tesla. In terms of options order flow, you know what? We haven't really seen much happening. Here in terms of options. Algo flow still looking weak on the longer time horizon. On the 1 minute, I'm guessing a lot of this is probably short covering. Folks, the options market is very subdued. Very, very subdued. So what's interesting as well is option call versus put volume is about to overlap. Puts are about to take over volume over calls. The last time that happened was February 16th to 17th. Let's say the 17th. And so if we go back to that day, 838 on Tesla. If you go back to February 17th, how did price action look after there? Oh yeah, we saw a massive sell-off, hey? So as soon as we saw put volume finally cross over call volume, we sold off about, well, I mean, albeit these were macro circumstances as well, but we sold off about 10, 15%, maybe 20% if you count the very bottom. And it looks like today we're probably going to have call volume be passed by put volume today. So, I mean, again, I guess it is Friday. It's not options expiration monthly Friday, but it is options expiration Friday. So, okay, 3 minutes left here until close. 838 on Tesla. Harris says, come on, 200 to SMA. Agreed. That's the line to look at, I think. That's 840. 840. Awesome. Yeah, Farzad says folks probably expecting a lot of destruction in Ukraine over the weekend. That will affect markets on Monday morning, maybe. Yeah, I am thinking a lot of this might be short covering as well. That's why I think we're rallying into close here. So, I guess we'll see. But yeah, I mean, risk off environment for sure, to say the least. If you look at the VTI, this is the Vanguard total stock market, right? If you just wanted to invest in the entirety of the stock market, we've sold off quite a bit today on the stock market as a whole, down 1% on the day. So VT and I think VTI are the two entirety of the stock markets, and VT is down 1.5% today. So, all right, we'll go back and I'll make sure I got my chat pulled up here. Oh, Boyle says, yeah, check my accounts. Boyle, thank you. Thank you, folks. Yes, my market order filled for one of my worthless lottos. So thank you, Boyle. Appreciate that. All right. Yes, thank you, Faisal. Thank you for the super chat, Tesla Hype. Great weekend, everyone. Positive vibes to all. Appreciate that, Tesla Hype. You know what? I think I might have missed another super chat earlier. There we go. Tesla closed at 838.29. I'm going to replay this one. Hopefully you're watching. Dessa, I appreciate you super chatting. Buy more Juju. Thank you. Don't know why I saw it, but maybe I was in the thought and I forgot to say it out loud. Okay, awesome. 838.29 is the closing price on Tesla. Awesome live stream with everyone. All things granted. And of course, we're living in less than optimal times for sure. But it's it is what it is. 838.29. I'm gonna go back to the chat for a second to see who won this Tesla closing price virtual Juju contest. If I can find it here. Let me see. Where is this? Gosh darn chat. Okay, there we go. Okay. 838. Ooh, Richard Drew close 838.83. Price is Right rule says it's over. Tesla hype saying 838.75. Vincent is actually guessing 838 on the dot, so you're about 29 cents away. And I think that's our winner, Vincent. Vincent Picarelli. Pardon my pronunciation. Vincent, I'll just say Vincent. Vincent, you've won our virtual Juju contest for the day. Congrats. There we go. Richard says, be well, be safe, have a peaceful weekend. Appreciate that, Richard. Thank you. Agreed. It's hard. I mean, candidly speaking, we've talked about this a lot. I'm not going to harp on it too much, but again, these times are troubling for a lot of people, especially for our Ukrainian friends and perhaps family. And so it's definitely troubling times for sure. All we can hope for is world peace at the end of the day. And we talk about the markets. We have an awesome time doing so. But during these times, there are bigger. And you could disagree with me. I've gotten some people commenting back and saying, "Look, that's fine." But I'm here to talk about stock market. And I get it. But during these times, especially when we talk about stuff like nukes, it's just you feel a degree of lower vibes. But coming on live stream with you folks and spreading the positivity is always an awesome time. I have again, I wouldn't do this unless I really loved hanging out with you folks. Farzad said, "Thank you. Yeah, I should see you next week, brother." Yes, Farzad is coming on the channel by hot request, by popular request. I probably have gotten maybe 4 or 5 personal messages to have Farzad on. So super excited to have him on Friday. Go check out his channel. He's in the chat. And I have Emmett Peppers coming on, repeat friend of the show, on Wednesday. So we're going to live stream both. It'll be an awesome time. Hopefully nothing else comes out of Giga Berlin out of those times or next week to offset any of the good work that's been done by the folks in Berlin. But yes, Judy says, be well. Yes, thank you, folks. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. All of you guys spreading positivity. That's all what it's about. And if you want to join the Juju gang, remember, bring your good Juju in there. Positive vibes only. And if you want, and just a hot second, I'm going to thank everyone on Patreon that supports the channel, everyone that has a channel membership, everyone that super chats, everyone that even just tunes in and hits subscribes, or leaves me comments on a consistent basis. You guys really, honestly, make this channel happen. Without you, nothing would happen. So, if you have any other guest requests, by the way, always hit me up. Whether you're in the Juju gang, you can hit me up on Discord, personal message. If you are, if you follow me on Twitter, feel free to shoot me a DM, whatever it might be. Awesome. And I'm just going to correct it. T-Mac corrected me, by the way, earlier on the stream where I said, I was like 41%. That looks off. I drew on Weeble, the line is backwards. The final to like a rookie, I reversed it. I don't know why. And I knew math was off. 28% from the first day of the year. Thank you, T-Mac. Appreciate the DM on Twitter, on Discord. Awesome. Hey, guys are saying Kanye? Yeah. If you guys want it to happen, I mean, I've already denied Kanye once on the channel. He continues to want to come on. So, it is what it is. But maybe one day I'll allow him to come on, on the channel. Awesome. Okay, guys, much love. Thanks for the awesome Juju this week. As I say every Friday, put away your phones, computers, even for a little bit over this weekend. Try to spend some time away from technology. We often get sucked into it too often, too fast. Spend some time with family, friends, meditate, whatever you need to do to recharge and to just be a better person. And I know it's hard. Can someone explain Juju? Juju are citrus, and it represents our good vibes in the channel. Much love, guys. Take care. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Be well.